You ever walk into a place just hoping for one small, good thing and end up with your whole day flipped inside out? Yeah, that was me last Tuesday, right in the middle of Scottsdale, Arizona, when the air was doing that weird thing where it's not quite spring, not quite summer, and the sunlight's just showing off. I wasn't there for trouble, not for drama. I was there to buy my mom a birthday present. And honestly, if you'd told me I'd leave with cops, strangers, and a new understanding of people, I would have called you crazy. I've been saving for months, stocking books at the campus store, skipping late-night pizzas, stacking up every dollar in gift card, just for this one thing. Grantham and Lane, that jewelry store tucked between the espresso place and the art gallery. I'd checked their website, picked out the perfect chain, something quiet, something that'd last longer than any scented candle or joke card. I wanted her to be surprised. I wanted her to know I saw her. I remember standing outside, thumb running over my phone, double-checking the time, my reflection in the glass. A tall, skinny kid in a black Nike hoodie, nervous for no good reason except, well, you ever been somewhere that makes you feel like every move's on camera? That. Still, I took a breath, pulled open the door, and walked into that chilly lavender-scented place where even the air conditioning seemed rich. Guy behind a counter, navy suit, practiced smile, looked me over, but didn't say anything weird. Afternoon. Let me know if you need help. I nodded, did my best not to touch anything, moved slow, checked out the display of necklaces, little silver hearts, and gold keys. That key necklace, man, I could just see Mom's face opening the box. It was way more than I wanted to spend, but not impossible. I figured I'd find a way. Just then, the bell above the door chimed. I didn't pay much attention, too busy running the math in my head, but there was this older woman who walked in, sharp haircut, expensive purse, the kind of person who walks like they own the place. She looked at me once, twice, and I swear I felt her eyes crawl all the way down my back. But I was locked in. His was about Mom. The associate came over, asked if I wanted a closer look. I said yeah, so he unlocked the case, laid the necklace on this little velvet pad. It was perfect. I was this close to asking if they'd hold it for a couple days, just long enough for me to scrounge up the last bit of cash when the woman started moving around, making tiny noises just loud enough to register. It was like the whole room had this extra tension, but I didn't know why. She slipped out the door. I didn't think twice. I was texting my friend, seeing if I could trade some birthday cash for a gift card to make up the difference, when the associate came back and said he could hold the chain for 24 hours with a $50 deposit. Relief, right? I pulled out my wallet, paid up, got my receipt, and just as I was about to leave your mom with a stroller rolled in, gave me a polite smile, and I thought, see, this is what normal feels like. But outside, that sharp-haired woman was still standing there by the fountain, phone pressed to her ear. I didn't know it yet, but she'd called the police. Told them there was a nervous-looking kid in a hoodie, acting suspicious, maybe planning to steal something. You know, the usual fairy tales people invent when they don't have the guts to admit what's really bothering them. I turned toward the exit, receipt in hand, and noticed just barely a pair of police cruisers sliding to a stop in front of the store. My stomach dropped. Next thing I know, 2 uniformed officers step inside, straight toward me. One tall, broad guy, Officer Delgado, and a woman with her hair pulled back tight. I didn't move, didn't run, just stood there like maybe if I stayed calm, they just keep walking. "Excuse me, son, we need to speak with you," the officer says. It's not a question, and it's not friendly, either. The mom with the stroller, the sales guy, they all go quiet. I'm trying to remember to breathe. The officers flank me, ask my name, ask what I'm doing. I hold up the little bag, tell them I'm buying a necklace for my mom. They want ID. I'm 17, so I hand over my student card. They press, ask if I live around here, if I came alone, how long I'd been inside. It's like some twisted pop quiz where the answers are right, but the grade's already decided. I'm looking at the associate, like, did you say I did something? He's shaking his head, but he's no help. Finally, Officer Delgado looks at me, eyes not quite meeting mine. "You match the description. We got a call." I look down at myself, yeah. Black kid in a hoodie, right? Not exactly hard to match that description in Arizona. They check with the assistant manager, who vouches for me. I've done nothing wrong, but my face is burning from the shame of being questioned like this, from the way everybody in the store is suddenly pretending not to see. They hand back my ID, say it's a misunderstanding, start that apology routine they probably practice in the car. I'm about to leave honestly. I should have left, but then I say, my mom's in law enforcement. She told me this could happen. I always thought she was just being overprotective. Right then, the bell above the door rings again. And this time, my whole world shifts. A tall black woman strides in, blazer, government badge at her hit me mom, Simone Bellamy. And if you've never seen someone walking like they own the room, let me tell you, that's my mom. She looks me over, cool as ever, and then says, Jalen, you all right? I nod, and the officers straighten up like. Suddenly the whole situation is upside down. She flashes her badge FBI, Field Office Chief, Phoenix Division. The room drops into a freeze frame. Nobody talks, nobody even breathes. Then she says, I'm his mother. What happened? And I swear, you could feel the air get thick. The cops stumble over their words, explain they got a call, didn't know who I was. Mom isn't having it. So, what exactly was suspicious? Was he robbing the place? Did staff complain? The associate says no, says I was polite, paid for the hold, never caused trouble. Mom locks eyes with the officers. So, why'd you pull him aside? Why the ID? Delgado tries the standard procedure line, but Mom cuts in, you mean a black kid in a hoodie makes someone nervous, and you treat him like a suspect? You could have heard a pin drop. Cheryl, yeah. That's the woman with the phone stands frozen by the door. My mom turns to her. Are you the one who called? Cheryl stutters out. I was just being cautious. Mom isn't angry. Not really. She's something sharper. What exactly made you nervous? That he was quiet? That he was young and black in a nice store? Cheryl tries to deny it, but Mom isn't letting her off the hook. I'm not here for excuses. I'm here for accountability. She takes my shoulder, and as we walk past the cops, she tells them, next time someone calls in suspicious behavior without any threat, maybe don't jump to intimidation. Ask yourself why they look suspicious to you in the first place. Nobody answers. Outside, the sunlight feels different, harsher, honest. We get in Mom's SUV, and for a second, it's just quiet. I ask if she tracked me. She says, store's fraud alert system pinged me when you use Family Apple Pay. You're not a kid anymore. But you're a young black man in Arizona, and I track you because I love you. I can't even argue. She tells me I handle myself well. I say I felt anything but calm. You didn't show it. That matters. I laugh sorta. I was literally buying a necklace for you, and I get treated like a criminal. She just nods, says, that woman saw a version of you she's been trained to fear. It's not your fault, but it's real. I ask if her being in the FBI protects me. She sighs. My badge doesn't shield you from how people see you. It just means I see how deep the problem goes. I'm quiet, staring out the window, thinking what's the point of doing everything right if it doesn't matter? She turns to face me. The point is you, how you carry yourself. You did nothing wrong, and you still walked out taller than every person in there. It hits me harder than I want to admit, but I don't want that to be the end. So, I ask if we can go back inside by the necklace. No hold, no drama. I want them to see me finish what I started. She raises her brows, but smiles. Let's go make them uncomfortable again. We walk back in the store, heads up. Cheryl is still there, clutching her phone. I pay for the necklace, full price. The associate's hands are shaking as he bags it up. Cheryl comes over, tries to apologize, says she was just scared, didn't mean harm. My mom says, you meant to call the police. That was a choice. I look at Cheryl. What about me scared you? My hoodie? My skin? She stammers, tries to explain. My mom says, you didn't want to be that person, but you became this person, the one who makes assumptions, lets them escalate, then wants help cleaning it up. You made a bad decision. That reveals who you are. We leave, my mom telling Cheryl, if you ever call the police again, make sure there's a real threat. Next time, the mother might not get there in time. We step out, back into the light, and neither of us looks back. The store is quiet now, but it's a different kind of quiet, a kind that makes people think. Back home, I don't make a big deal of the gift. I just slide it across the counter. Mom asks, why a key? I say, because you're the reason I never felt locked out. You always made sure I belonged wherever I stood. She nods, holding back tears. That night, she checks on me, asks if I'm okay. I tell her I'm just tired. You know what scared me most? I say that I did nothing wrong, and it still happened. She sits on the edge of my bed, tells me the system doesn't work on right and wrong. It works on fear and bias. But you have to keep showing up, so people get used to seeing young men like you in places they think you don't belong. The next morning, Cheryl sits in her car outside the grocery store, replaying what my mom said. Maybe the first step is to ask why someone looks suspicious to you. That sentence sticks. When a group of teenagers walks by, one wearing a hoodie, she doesn't reach for her phone. She just watches. Mom wears that necklace every day now. Not because it's fancy, but because it's proof of something stronger than fear, the courage to finish what you started, to show up, to stay exactly where you belong. If you've ever judged someone for how they look, ask yourself why. And if you've ever been judged, don't shrink. Keep showing up. Change starts with awareness, but it only grows when we do something different the next time.